Welcome. This video will help you prepare a presentation for an upcoming interview or assessment centre. The delivery of a presentation is a common form of assessment for an internship, placement, graduate level job or postgraduate programme such as an MSc or PhD. They assess your oral communication and public speaking skills and can be used to check your knowledge of a particular topic relevant to the opportunity. Presentations that form part of a selection process are typically shorter than those you might be used to from academic study, with typical lengths varying from 3 to 10 minutes. You'll be given instructions that will outline the proposed length of delivery, as well as details about presentation topic, intended audience, and preferred mode of delivery, for example, if PowerPoint's expected. Presentations for interview and assessment fall into 3 main categories. The first type is when you're given a topic in advance. You may be given a week or more to prepare a formal presentation showing your depth of knowledge on the subject or evidence of your research. The second type is when a presentation topic is set on the day of assessment and you'll be given a short amount of time to prepare an informal talk. The focus here is on your ability to communicate a topic clearly and confidently. The third type is a group presentation. You'll be asked to collaborate with other applicants to develop a short pitch on a given topic. The focus is again on communicating clearly and confidently, but also it will assess how well you work as part of a team. With all presentations, it's important to follow the instructions you're given carefully and stick to the given time frame. Increasingly, presentation tasks are arranged to happen online, so it's quite likely you may face a presentation task to be delivered through video conferencing software like Microsoft Teams or Zoom. While this may feel like an alien experience at first, it's important to note that many of the principles of an in-person delivery apply to online delivery too. Whether it's in-person or online, what makes a good presentation? It's likely that we've all witnessed good and bad versions of presentations. Think back to some examples you've seen and then take some time to consider what made them good or bad. Poor quality presentations often appear unrehearsed or lack flow and are hard to follow. Perhaps you've seen an example of a speaker try to cover too much content or speak far too quickly. Maybe they read from the slides instead of considering the audience, or else the delivery simply didn't grab your attention. By contrast, good presentations you've experienced probably did the exact opposite. Your goal is to replicate elements of good presentations you've seen while trying to reduce elements of poor presentations. If you can't think of anything right now, websites like YouTube have a vast array of recorded presentations you can watch. Whatever your topic, you should ensure that your presentation has a clear intention and a targeted message that resonates with the audience. An easy way to make your presentation relevant and meaningful is to consider questions that your audience might have about the subject and provide answers to these as the substance of your presentation. To do this effectively, you'll need to think about who your audience is, what message they need to hear, and how long you have for delivery. Identify the main points that are necessary to convey your key messages as a basis for shaping your content. Structure is key with any presentation. You should take your audience on a logical journey within the given time frame. A simple 3-stage structure can help with this, essentially a beginning, a middle, and an end. Start by introducing your topic and setting the scene. Then move into the core content, and wrap up with a conclusion that welcomes questions. If you're using slides, it's important to ensure they're not too cluttered. Use an appropriate font size that's not too small to read, and bullet points can help to minimize your word count. Also, make sure you don't read from your slides, as this is both boring for the audience and adds no additional value. You may also want to consider using images to make your slides more visually engaging, but this shouldn't distract from the content. You might notice the words I've just spoken appear on the screen here, within the small image. That's an example of a less than ideal slide layout. In contrast, the bullet points on the left summarise this content in a more accessible format for the audience. This allows me to talk around the topic in my delivery, and it's much more engaging. Use your slides as an aid memoir as opposed to reading directly from them. The audience can focus on you and your delivery, or they can focus on reading the text on the slides. It's very difficult for them to do both. Of course, it's also important to spell check slides and ensure consistent formatting. Nothing says poor attention to detail more than a set of badly formatted or poorly assembled slides. If you think about your structure and plan appropriately, you'll be able to develop a strong narrative for any presentation topic. Once you have your structure, you should rehearse your delivery and timings until you feel comfortable with the content. It's common to underestimate how long something takes to deliver, so it's a good idea to time your rehearsals to ensure you don't overstretch yourself by trying to cover too much. If your phone has a voice memo app, recording a practice run will give you a good indication of how long your presentation is and gives you a chance to listen back to see where you sound most confident and which areas still need more rehearsal. You shouldn't script your presentation, even in rehearsal, because ideally you'll become comfortable enough with your content and flow to deliver your message. You may find that cue cards help keep you on track, or else your slides can act in much the same way. On the screen now are some examples of common mistakes, like using a confusing structure or including too much content for the time frame. Most of these can be avoided during the preparation and rehearsal stage. But even if you are the most prepared and rehearsed candidate in history, it's quite common for speakers to make a mistake while delivering a presentation. If this happens to you, simply acknowledge it and move on. As a final check, once you've thoroughly prepared your presentation, revisit the prescribed topic and ask yourself, have I actually answered the question? If the answer is yes, then you're all set for delivery, and it's very likely you'll be able to discuss any questions you face on structure or content. Thanks for watching. We hope these hints and tips are helpful in preparing for your next presentation. If you'd like to practice your presentation before an interview, remember you can book an appointment with a careers consultant via Jobs Live.